I'm out of tape, Joe. Here's Steve. That's all the tape I got. Yeah, there he is.
What's a gag?
It's a United, Unified.
Okay.
It's in here.
Okay.
It's required, but they're going to. They'll file for it.
Okay.
I know somebody's gagging. I know.
Never heard that.
I was the same thing when I was like,
Yeah.
Good morning. It's 11 a.m., November 13th, 2024. Welcome to the Henry County Commissioners Meeting. Would you please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a short prayer? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together this day. Pray that we're able to make good decisions for the county. And God bless America. Amen.
Amen.
Had the commissioners had an opportunity to review the minutes of the last meeting?
Motion to approve is presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes 3-0. Have the commissioners had an opportunity to review the claims?
Motion to approve is presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Have the commissioners had an opportunity to review the payroll?
Motion to approve is presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 We have in front of us the clerk's monthly report for October 2024. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes 3-0. We have a food and beverage claim for the historic shelter house at Memorial Park, affidavit number 2016-87, SBK Construction for $15,193.14. Is there a motion?
Motion approved is presented.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next, we have Mr. Corey Murphy for an EDC update. Thank you, Corey.
Cool.
Good Lord, I need to
I
go
do
to
not see it.
church right now because we didn't have nothing to say.
I do not see a chamber update, an insurance update. Henry County Health Department, Angela Cox, do you have anything for us this morning?
Did you all receive my email regarding the ordinance change? Okay.
Yes, and it's under the resolution and ordinances. I mean, if you want to do it
Yeah,
now.
do you want to do it now and then you'll be done with it? If,
We
do you
can
have
if
any
you want to.
questions about it? It's green.
Yeah, you'll need to move it closer to you.
It's green.
There you go.
So basically, we're just changing the ordinance to come into compliance with Indiana code that was passed this last session. We have to have it on books no later than January 1. And we have a Board of Health meeting tomorrow night, so the board can approve it. Joel has it all tidied up and written up. And then if we can change the date to December the 1st, we're in the process of sending out the annual renewals for all of our food establishments anyway. And then that will tuck it in.
So we're good there.
Yeah, so we don't have to do it twice.
Motion with making that modification.
Sure, yes, actually the state statute that now requires food trucks or mobile food vendors to be regulated requires the health board to set the the fee for inspection. So technically, this is one of these that it's coming to you just, hey, this is what we're doing. But the statute actually requires the health board to set that fee. So really that action tomorrow will be the one that determines it. And, it's another one of these statutes that says you'll regulate them, but it'll have to be to the state standards. You can't come up with your own independent standards.
Correct. And it has to do with I can't ever remember the word for it, but it's not your, like elephant ear truck that just comes and, these are the
Like
ones that,
Carnival, it's not Carnival.
no, these are they have everything on board. Like
Mhm.
they would have, a 3-hole sink, they'd have the sanitation, and they're cooking, foods from scratch, not necessarily taking everything from a commissary. So they're much more involved. And so it'll allow them, it required us to permit them for 1 year at a time, which they drove and wanted that to happen. And then the state said that we will impose a fee, but it cannot be more than $200. And the majority of them, when we looked at them compared to our retail food establishment level 3s, which is not the highest, but right under that, were about $150. So that's where we came up with $150. That puts them parallel to our other establishments that have the same type of business, if you will. They just happen to be on wheels.
So we really don't need to approve this, do we? I don't think. It's just letting
Well-
us know, yeah. okay.
Well, the only reason, I guess the reason that I brought it to you, but historically, when we have set our fee schedule, it's actually codified. So
Okay.
we've had to,
Oh, yes.
oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's what I'm asking you, because it just, right, right, because it was, Henry Board of Health, nothing on the commissioner, so I just wanted to verify that, so, okay,
Okay.
okay. I'll make the
Yep.
motion to approve 2024-11-8, 15. A resolution establishing a fee for a mobile retail food permit, contingent on the changes of December 1 from January 1, 2025.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Then just a quick FYI, we've begun interviews for our students to be ambassadors for each of the school systems. And you approved opioid funds for us to take them to Washington in February. So it's
be exciting.
exciting, and there's just so many interested children, and it's been impressive, the applications that we've seen. So we'll keep you posted and announce who those are soon.
Thank you. Brian? Nothing? The Highway Department? Morning.
Think all of you have a copy of the, CDL agreement that Joel, prepared for us. I know this program was approved quite some time ago, but this is the final thing that we need to be able to, move forward with this program for our, laborers getting their CDLs if that spot is open. Just wanting to see if, we can get this agreement, approved so that we can move forward with the CDL program.
Joel, so Braden and I had a conversation this morning because we still have left the cost blank. And his concern is if the cost goes up in 2 years, does he have to come back and get another agreement done? Can we do a base cost and put a provision in there that as cost increase? Okay. And so what was the base cost? I forget. We've had so many conversations on this.
$3,500.
$3,500. Okay. So would we need to modify this to say, okay, $3,500, okay. We'll let them read before I.
Yeah, I think how I've done it with other, bodies is whether it's, the town council or the board of works or whoever maybe approves contracts. Typically, they bring these contracts for approval each time. A new hire's made, it's going through that specific training. And so that number then can be adjusted.
Okay.
as
That-
time goes on. So it's, you know,
That was another question I had was, does this get approved with each individual who does this program?
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. it
Okay.
should, Okay.
Okay.
So I guess we wouldn't have to make it contingent, because every
you would have to
employee,
make it
okay,
contingent.
because every employee,
Bring
it
back
has
this
to be
form
every
with
employee.
the
Okay,
blank.
okay.
with that being said, I do have one individual right now who is, if this is approved, who will start that schooling. The first available, time slot is December 16th would be the first day.
So do I start from now, therefore it is agreed?
No, I think you, I don't know necessarily if you need to read it. I
Okay.
think summarize. It's essentially in short of agreement that the county will pay for that cost. If the person doesn't stay in employment for a certain period of time. I can't remember off the top of my head.
This one is a 2-year
2
agreement.
years, and then
yes.
they will have to reimburse a portion of the cost.
Yeah.
Depending on how long we stay.
I'm gonna say, does that language need to be included in here as far as the breakdown? Because I don't see it.
As the.
How much, percentage they pay back.
Yeah, certainly we can add that in.
I'll say, does it hurt anything if it's not in here?
It probably should be spelled out.
Okay, because that was I don't see it, so I just wanted to make sure that if somebody did leave after 6 months, after a
Yeah,
year,
it's-
what,
And I think you would just send me an email.
I did. I actually sent it to you a couple weeks ago
Okay.
and,
Apologize about that.
well, you
No.
didn't. I thought I sent it to you and it didn't go through, so
Okay.
I just noticed that yesterday. But that was, something that if, if they feel necessary to add to this,
So what
Good.
percentage were you thinking? or
I guess
Steve
in
was
my
thinking?
opinion, I mean, something what I had in mind was every, a portion of it would be knocked off every 6 months. For that, it'd basically be divided out evenly over 6-month period of time.
Roughly a quarter
Yeah,
for 6-month period.
yeah.
almost like I was thinking that was a conversation you and
Okay.
I had. I just
Okay.
wanted to make
Certainly
sure.
you approve the subject to adding
Okay,
that
Okay.
language, so.
What kind of meat do we have if they do leave getting that money recovered?
Well, I mean, probably you would have to file.
Okay.
I
All
mean,
right.
that's it. When they
Yeah.
just said voluntarily, I'm not gonna pay it, forget it, then probably you have to pursue a small cancel.
Okay. So I don't have a problem with it. I think it's a good idea. I think it hopefully
Mhm.
keeps him from having shortfalls at that department. These people trained and, it's a definite need. So with that, with the language being added to, I make a motion, we approve this.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Motion
sorry.
passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you. The other thing, is our annual bids. I know with only having one meeting in December, would it be possible for us to have a special meeting of some type to, open those bids prior to the December 18th meeting? And then have those, that would give us time to review them prior to that meeting and then, hopefully get things accepted on the 18th.
Braden and I talked this morning about possibly doing it on the 13th to accept the bids and then open, or to.
That would be when we
open-
would open them.
Yes, open the
then
bids,
the-
and then the 18th is when we would make a decision to accept.
I don't have a problem with that.
That's
I
fine.
my schedule's open too, so you just want to do the noon, if we did it
11.
at 11 o'clock, because it won't take that long to open the
Yeah,
bids.
that's fine. I just wanted to get something kind of set before we actually, so people know when they have to have the, bid packets turned back in.
So you want to do the 13th at 11, or do you want to do it at 10? Would that make you? more-
13th and 11.
Okay.
13th at 11. Okay.
I'm okay with that.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Steve Rest? Thank you. Tom Green? Anything from the Sheriff's Department?
Good morning, everyone. Just want to
Morning.
share something real quick. I gotta put my glasses on because I can't see as good as I used to be able to apparently. I feel part of the club now.
Yeah.
I just want to share, we got an email from Lisa Scroggins of Quality Correctional, and I wanted to share this. It's good news. But I think it's important for commissioners, and the public to know what's going on, within the jail setting and pertaining to just the change in culture. So if you don't mind, I'd like to read that. She writes this: I wanted to personally reach out to you regarding the bill scrubbing fees outlined in your contract with QCC. And bill scrubbing is basically, they work with the hospital to take off so much of the fee. In the current contract, we negotiated retaining 25% of the savings, our bill scrubbing services net. So that's quite a bit that they're retaining. We felt this was necessary, risk premium due to the financial impact QCC suffered some time ago. I won't get into all of that. She goes on to say this. She said, after working in the new facility and with the new administration and recognizing your commitment to safety and culture, we feel 25% is excessive. Attached, you'll find the invoices for the first 3 quarters of the year, blah, blah, blah. She says this, she says, please note, we reduced our retained savings to 12%, or less than half the contracted amount. We're happy to do this, to demonstrate that we appreciate the partnership with Henry County, the work that is put forth to correct the scenarios that resulted in them severing the contract some time ago. So just wanted to share that. I didn't do the math. The sheriff did some math, and he projects that could save us in the ballpark of $100,000 for the entire year. So just want to commend our leadership in the jail for doing what they're doing, their commitment to reducing liability and just a better culture and treating the inmates better. And so we're very, very proud of that. On one other thing, I just want to say, as far as jail population, we continue to work with our partners in the criminal justice system, trying to keep the jail population at a reasonable level. I will say this time last year we was at 218. Today we're at 206. So we're better off now than what we were. So
How many do we have at other facilities?
so last year, this time, there was 228 total. That's even housed at other facilities.
Mhm.
And now there's 220. So that's 8 less than where we
Okay.
were last year. So that's all I have.
All right,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Josh.
Thank you. Anything from the auditor's office? We have Memorial Park not represented today. The assessor's office?
think you can go all the way down to Brian True.
Brian True.
So I just wanted to make you guys aware of a radio project that I've been working on. I talked to Bobby some and sent some documents to Joel to review. I emailed the other two of you last night just so you could have a look ahead of time. But essentially, our radios in dispatch today are wireless. So they work the same way as a portable radio or a radio in a car does. We have radios in the back room, and we have to essentially have a physical radio for every different channel that we want to be on. There's some disadvantages to that, and there's some things that we need to do in the future that don't work so well with that kind of system. One of those is paging on the statewide 800 megahertz system. Today, all of our paging is on older VHF, which has its limitations. Just things are going to the new systems. You can get better coverage. We have more towers throughout the county. And that was actually 800 paging was a part of another project, but as we got a little bit deeper on it, we realized it's not going to work so well with what we have today. I actually had raised some questions to the state, some concerns about what could happen, because on the current system, we can get busies. If the tower has too many people on it at once, dispatch or the officers, either one, can't get out. We get what's called a busy bump. And my concern was, what if we go to page and the tower's busy, what's going to happen? And they actually said, well, that's a good question. No one's ever asked before. And then a week or two later, I got an email back that said, oh, hey, we just found out we have a dispatch center that is doing this, and they have reduced capacity on their tower, and it's causing them all kinds of issues. Their consoles are confused, and it's not going well. Basically, we don't recommend it. So there's an option where we can become wirelined with the state, and essentially we have a fiber connection to the state where we are directly connected to their system and not reliant on a local tower wirelessly. And in that configuration, the dispatch center has priority, so we can always get out. We would never get a busy. So that would alleviate some of those problems with the paging. What we have to say is guaranteed to get out. There's also other benefits in that we can always hear, the officers still have the limitation, they could run into busies, but we can always hear what they're saying, even if we're transmitting. So we have priority. We can even take over and talk when they're talking, but what they're saying still comes through and we can hear it. So if they have an emergency when we're putting a dispatch out, they can still get through. We can hear it. Nobody else will, but we can. So there's lots of other good things that come with this. Just more capabilities to monitor things as well. Like I said, right now we have to have a physical radio for each channel we want to monitor. We've even got way more talk groups throughout the county than what we have the capability of listening to at once. Not that we necessarily have the staffing to listen to all those things, but we need to get better at putting fire departments on different channels when they have something going on. And right now we literally don't have the capability of monitoring all of those. So this gives us the capabilities to monitor really anything we want. We have endless capabilities without having to have physical equipment to do it. It's quite a big project. I kind of wish we would have done it 2 or 3 years ago when we got all of our new radio equipment and consoles, but that was also before we had the PSAP lit and didn't really have the funds to support this. I kind of feel like these are some of the kind of things that money is going to help us with. Obviously, more staffing to be able to support these kinds of things as well. But yeah, it's a pretty big project. I'm working on financing. I've talked to the Indiana Bond Bank, and they're actually supposed to have it back. Their deadline was today that they were sending out. I can't remember if it's 12 or 16 different banks that they reach out to send the quotes back, and they'll give me the best. I also have a financing quote from Motorola that came with their documentation already, so I can compare that to what the bond bank gives. And then I was going to check with a local bank as well. I know on our current project, Citizen State Bank, I think they were the only local bank interested in it, and they actually had beat the bond bank rate by just a tiny bit. So once I get that back, I'm going to check with them. My hopes is for Joel to have everything reviewed and approved. He found a couple of small things, and I think we're pretty close on those, to have all the quotes back where I can bring this to possibly get a vote next month.
Okay.
But I just wanted to make you guys aware of everything, see if you had any questions or,
Thank you, Brian.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't have any questions because you and I've already talked about it.
Okay, sounds good.
Mandy? Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Good morning. Is that on?
Pull it closer to you. Steve's not asking if you want a box to stand on, so.
I do feel very short right now. So the first page on there, good news. We applied for the Community Foundation grant and we did receive that grant. We received everything that we asked for, which I was told not to hope for. And I'm not sure how they did it. I know we are incredibly grateful for that. It made a huge impact and actually changed how we bought the equipment. We didn't have to delay the first payment, so it saved us money on the back end. And we are incredibly grateful for that. And the equipment has begun coming in, so you got a lot of sighted people and a lot of training happening. And so that was very good news and very unexpected. So just want to start this with that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So you asked for an update on the balance billing, and I said I would run the numbers and look back. We did run that back to August 1st. I know we approved it in the August meeting, but we went ahead and backdated it until August 1st to start balance billing from them. And they have begun doing that. So far, we've collected $535.18 over the last 3.5 months, which is kind of what I thought it would be. I knew it wasn't going to move the dial a lot. They are balance billing several. Majority of them, like 95% that they've balance billed, have returned with hardship request and they've met those. So the system's working. The parameters we put in place so that people wouldn't get gouged with a huge medical bill. If they meet that income threshold or that hardship, then Medi-Cal automatically just writes that debt off. So
Do you know what the total amount that the bills would have been?
no.
Okay.
I can probably get that for you and email it to you. I know there's like 12 of them right now. There's 12. So anywhere from, it would probably be similar to that amount because I believe that is, so it'd be about 200 and some dollars per thing. So I guess you can do the math.
Well, I guess then the hardship, how much was that?
How much is it or?
The total amount that was written off or they qualified? for the
No.
hardship
I won't know that until they do it over like a year period.
Oh, okay.
And then at the end, there'll be right now it just goes into, we have what's a write-off column
Mhm.
and that grows
Okay.
every month and it doesn't like separate out. We do that like at the
Okay.
first of the year. So
Alright.
I'd be able to tell you then. I see
Okay.
what you're saying. Okay.
Thank you.
So, but I mean, we'll take it. It's better than nothing, right? As far as, where we are with the CSR and the, DEA apps, we're still waiting. That's all we can do. We've tried to call a few people, put some pressure on, but everyone's backlogged right now. So we are just, the only thing that really, that's the reason we are not running ALS right now is paperwork. It's literally just paperwork. We have everything else in place, met with the hospital yesterday, got educated on the new Alaris pumps. And they gave us our assigned pumps. We brought them and started training on those. So, met with the pharmacy, the director of the pharmacy at the hospital asked if he could come to our DEA inspection, so that we could make sure all of our forms and everything mesh up with theirs. We obliged, absolutely. So we're at their mercy now. We've done everything we can do. We're ready. The second we have it, we're good to go. That's where we're at with that. Do you want me to do the printer now? I seen it was on the bottom of business.
Are you okay with, she has the printer? Yeah,
Sure.
go ahead.
Okay, so our printer, I don't know if you all know, I know Bobby knows, we actually got that. That was Ann Bankson's old printer. She got a new one a couple of years ago. And we took hers, and took over that contract from her. It was about 8 years old then. It became 10 years old in June. And with Braden, once they hit 10 years old, they can't, cover them anymore. So it's out of contract. We've had it fixed twice. so far since June. The drum, I guess they say the inner components of the drum after so long, they get loose. He had one left for this printer. He let us use it because we had started getting pink on the bottom of every paper. And then it was just growing and growing until the majority of our papers were pink. He came, he fixed it. It worked. We got excited. 2 weeks later, the pink started and now we're back up to about 3 inches of pink. And I can have them come and try and fix it again, but now I pay for it, total cost, if I do that. There's nothing, I don't get to just call them and they come fix it and I sign a paper and that's it. We will pay for everything. So they advise that I get a new printer under another contract, which we tried to avoid as long as we could, but this is crucial to what we do. We scan, we fax. I got to have medical information faxed to me. All of our paperwork scanned to 5 different computers at any given time and then uploaded to ambulance or to the billing company. So I have to have it. We can't do our job without it. I just was trying to put it off us having to do it. So I asked them to put together a quote that was comparable to the one that we have for whatever technology is today. This is what they sent. I was actually surprised by the price. I thought it would be a lot more than that. And payment wise, a month, it's like $150 a month. So I'm asking if we can go ahead and, since it's a contract, I knew I had to get permission to do it. So, and go ahead and get that process started. Do what? Mm-mm. I just assumed the whole county used Braden because that's
Oh,
what we
everybody
get.
has their own. There's Weber, there's Braden, there's,
Oh, see, I just used whatever.
it was.
Yeah, it was just, they're the ones that won't secure it. So I just
Did you
asked for a
use
quote
Weber
from
and
them.
Braden? And how much was yours? Oh.
Is it comparable to like what you see on that? Hold that thought.
Okay.
I'm a saver. Hold that thought. Let's not do that because now I want to see about that one because that's like half the price. So, oh, do they have a lot of those? I mean, mine's going like it's going. So I just want to make sure I have a good shot at getting something. Okay. Let's put that on pause. Never
Okay.
mind. Put a pin in that.
Okay, we'll pause it.
That's all I have then.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Troy Jester. Okay, thank you.
We've got his hyper reach later on.
Next, we're ready for quotes and proposals. HyperReach Emergency Mass Notification Services for Henry County. Troy Jester.
So, Brian True and myself, sat through a couple of demos. One was Rave, communication, and one was HyperReach. We both felt that they met, the deliverables, the objectives that we wanted to get through, for the tool. It's a mass communication system that's similar to Nexel, that we had in the past. It's much more cost effective, a lot more capability for us to be able to utilize to push out emergency communications to the public. And then departments would be able to have access to it to use to communicate to their staff at unlimited messaging. So that's the key, the difference between this and the old system. We received proposals back. HyperReach was a little bit more attractive financially compared to Rave. It just seemed to use Brian's words, Rave just had a few more bells and whistles that made it look a little bit more polished, shiny, but it's not really, it doesn't really affect the operations of the systems. So we were able to
obtained those proposals from each of those companies. And you can see the amount there. We do have the agreement that Joel's reviewed with the company, had some minor edits, and they accepted those. So any questions or comments?
I don't, as far as how this works. And I know, don't know how many people, or Steve or Joe, I think Joe, you may have used Nexel, you know, where it sends out the mass communication, going to an orange or going to a red, or tornado warning, or anything with emergency management. And I've seen a demo of it. What I wanted to address was, because I know this is going to be Steve's next question about money. So we did, when Jeff and Brian brought the firewall and licensing to us, it was an additional, I think, $26,000, somewhere, $26,000 that we did an additional appropriation for. They were able to get that down based upon, instead of doing a lifetime subscription, they were able to do every 3 years. And that dropped it down to something like, I'm gonna just round, it was less than $2,000. So we did the additional appropriation for 25,000, but we're only needing that much. That, Steve, to answer your question, you haven't asked yet, that's where the $11,377 would come from.
I was going to ask.
I know, I was cutting you off at the pass.
And this amount that you see in front of you is per year for 3 years. We can lock it in for 1 year up to 5 years. So depends on what your choice is to.
But it
lock
would be
that
billed
price.
annually, not,
Correct.
you don't pay 3 years or 5 years at a time, just so you can lock it in for 5 years?
Correct.
Okay. Would you have a suggestion, or a rather 3, 5? I know we've talked not one.
These systems, once you get the public registered in, you know, it's nice to have the database there for the contacts, and you're not asking them to update things in the future. So, you know, the longer period of time would probably be better. It would probably save the county money as well. I think that it has again, the tools that we need. I don't foresee needing to change based upon the functionality of the system. So
I'll make the motion to approve the HyperReach Emergency Mass Notification Services for 5 years, lock it in for 5 years.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
thank you.
Thank you, Troy. And Brian? We've already gone through quote number 2 and quote number 3. We've already discussed that, correct? Those solutions? Yes. Next, we go to new business. United Consulting, professional services agreement between Memorial Park Sanitary and Water Improvement Project. Let's hear about this.
Thank you, Commissioners. This is related to the Ready 2 project. The potential for a $500,000 grant through Ready 2 for water and sewer out at Memorial Park. And then recently, the County Council approved up to $1.6 million from food and beverage as matching funds to complete this project. And so I have Keith Bryant with United Consulting here with me, and before you is a professional services agreement for the design, bidding, and construction inspection of that project. United has worked for the city of Newcastle Water and Sewer for a number of years. Predates the current Mayor Greg York administration. And so that was the rationale in terms of asking United to help us with the design of the water and sewer within Memorial Park. I'm flipping through the contract to get to, so Appendix C. This is the timeline. Allocating 75 days for survey services. And then 150 days from contract commencement for 50% design. And then another 60 days, up to 60 days for permit application. And so bid document completion. So, we're looking at, 5 to 6 month design process, which I think coincides nicely with an anticipated, emphasis on the word anticipated, or estimated timeline on when the ready funds would be available. In terms of fee, that is in Appendix D. Total fees for each task are indicated below, and not to exceed 300,000 unless we modify it, well, unless you modify it. So design phase, 179,000. And then to assist with bidding, 16,000. And then to have them inspect the installation and be our representative there, 105,000. I would make Mr. Bryant available for questions, or if you want to talk about it, that's up to you, but he's the engineer. I'm just the coordinator.
Well, I think right now the only question I have is more pertain to Joel and the commissioners. I'm assuming, and maybe you, Corey, I'm assuming that this would be paid out of the ready funds and the food and beverage funds that were allocated for that project.
This specifically would come out of the food and
Out of
beverage
the food and
funds.
beverage funds, okay,
We'll use the ready funds for construction.
okay. That's what I wanted to,
As far as design and location, are we still commissioners in the mix on that?
oh,
Ab-
yes.
Absolutely. And so I guess I would ask really two things for you, from you today. Consider approving the agreement and then appointing someone to attend the coordination meetings. And then I will ask the Memorial Park superintendent to do the same. Ask them to appoint somebody from their organization to be the point person on meeting with Mr. Bryant and the city of Newcastle and myself to talk about exactly that.
Also, I did have a request from some of the members of the, I don't know what we call it now, the 4-H or Expo, that wanted to know if they would be allowed a representative at that table too.
I would,
Open for discussion.
I would politely ask the commissioners to make that decision.
Okay.
They can be added at some point if you think they need to be. I don't know that decision has, I'm not against it, but I would suggest if it was, it would just be one. But
would
it could
agree
always,
with that.
they can always be invited to attend the meetings.
I think if we offer that to that group, there are other groups in that area that may want representation.
I think they were asking because since it directly
Sure,
involves them,
absolutely.
that's why they were asking. So,
I have made assurances that this water and sewer project will serve their interest out there.
Mhm.
It will also serve the entire park.
yes. That's why I wanted to make sure we were in on it.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to make the motion to approve this agreement. And at the same time, I'm gonna make the motion that Commissioner Dellinger be appointed as the, as the, hi, how are you? As the liaison or member or whatever words you want to use. Notice I put that all in one motion.
I was gonna say, you know how hard it is to second that now?
I second it. Motion been made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion, what?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you, Keith.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Another good thing about this project now, that the timing on it is the recent project where we extended sewer and water up there made this possible, so.
Yeah.
To make it more affordable and capacities there, so. I know
Yes.
the timing is good. If it's 2 years ago, the city wouldn't have had capacity or a connection point there, so. Seems like the timing's right and hopefully, and we'll make sure everybody works together here and we do what's right for everybody and, you know,
Mhm.
appreciate the agreement though. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have cleaning bids for
Nope, you've missed one. Number 2.
number
Unified.
2 is Unified Group Services gag clause.
Yeah, that, I know that's what it says. So, I guess I'll just go through it, and I know, Joel, you've briefly, read it. It says, as you may know, the Consolidated Appropriations Act added a new law that it prohibits employees' benefit plans from entering into agreements with healthcare providers, networks, third-party administrators, or other service providers offering access to a network of providers if that agreement contains a gag clause. Your agreement with Unified does not have a gag clause, and we've been working with our partners to make sure their contracts do not have any clauses. To enforce this requirement, the law also requires each group health plan to submit to the federal government a certification of compliance with this gag clause prohibition rule. This certification is due each December 31st. While each group health plan itself is legally responsible for submitting this attestation, Unified is offering to provide this service at no cost to each group of its health plan customers. To take advantage of this offer, you will need to review this letter, sign and date the letter below, and return a signed copy. And it goes on. So Joel, I guess my question to you is, it's a little confusing to me. I wonder if we should get Josh Estel or
Yeah, I mean, unless, if this isn't time specific.
it just December 31st.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, well, then never mind. You just got it today.
I mean, this is essentially saying.
They're gonna
Unified's
take care of
telling
it.
us They don't have to be such
Right.
things, gag clause, so I don't see a problem.
Right,
approving
and
it.
then it talked about Exhibit A, and in Exhibit A it was True RX, and there was 2 of them listed. Oh, Ascension. I can't say it. Ascension, St. Vincent's were the 2 in Exhibit A. So you don't have an issue with any of this? Okay,
Fine.
all right. Ascension and True X. Yeah. So I'll make a motion to approve the United Service Group gag clause.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Next, we have the cleaning bids for the Henry County government buildings.
This is from, looks like Josh Carter. I'll just open it up. and give it to you. And then. This is for Ashley's Clinic, right there.
We have 2 bids, one from Josh Harder and Christy Ayers, and one from Ashley's Cleaning Services.
What I would like to do is take these under advisement so that we can get a copy and look at and compare both of them to make sure we're comparing apples to apples. before we make a decision. I guess I'll make that in the form of a motion. Go ahead, you can go ahead and read what the
We
totals
need
are.
to read the
Yeah.
totals first, but
Yeah.
I will
but-
second your motion, but
Yeah. Joel, do we need to read the totals? Yeah, okay.
What I'm seeing here as a total. This down there at the bottom, I believe.
Charges for all the above services will be $72,000 per year, paid bi-weekly or monthly for Josh Harder.
That's for Josh Harder and
Uh-huh.
Christie Ayers,
72,000.
72,000. And this is the total for Ashley's.
To perform all tasks listed above with 6 crew members, 7 days a week. All services totaled yearly $70,000. So I would like to, you've already seconded my motion. Okay.
yep.
Motion's been made and seconded to take these under advisement. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes 3-0. Next, we have fuel bids to be opened. We have received one bid for fuel from Keystone, who is present here today. Thank you so much. Contractors bid for public work, Form 96, and we'll go ahead and take this under advisement. I would assume, or do you?
Yeah, because I would like to look at it, because Mandy, you want to see this before? Okay, yep, I'll make a motion that we, if you want to read it, but we'll take it under, it's the only one we got, so it's kind of, just kind of like to look at it. And when do we need to have this approved by? Okay, well, I mean, we'll get it. Yeah, and we want the, yeah, okay. Okay.
There is also, the Henry County Sheriff is listed here with two prices for 87 E10 gasoline and premium diesel. And then for the city of Newcastle, it's listed here. So
Yeah,
we'll take these under consideration, and thank you for your bid.
and then Mandy, if, based upon time frame, if we need to have a special meeting to approve, we can do that before December.
Next, we have two resolutions,
And
and we've already
we've
already
already
looked
done
at
the
one. We looked at the one for the mobile retail food permit. Second one is an ordinance amending the chapter 111 of the Henry County Code.
I would probably start at the now therefore.
Now therefore be it ordained, section 111-08 shall be amended to read as follows. No person shall remove, alter, or deface, or allow to be removed, altered, or defaced any sticker, violation notice, or out-of-service notice placed on or near a device by the county inspector unless the county inspector has approved the removal or altercation verbally or in writing prior to the removal or altercation occurring. Any person who violates the provisions of this section shall be fined in the sum of at least $100. Each removal or altercation of a sticker or notice in violation of this section shall be deemed a separate offense. All ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith are hereby repealed. Any provision herein contained which is found found by a court of competent jurisdiction to be an unlawful by the operation of law is redeemed invalid shall be deemed omitted and severed. But the rest and remainder of this ordinance, to the fullest extent permitted by law, shall remain in a full of force and effect. This ordinance shall become effective upon passage and publication as required by law.
So this is for weights and measures. I guess we didn't say that at the beginning.
We're talking about the stickers that go
Uh-huh.
on the fuel
gas
pumps and
fuel
the gas pumps and the
Mhm.
scales throughout the county where they are not to be altered or removed unless approved by the inspecting officer.
So I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2024-11-1209.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Anybody else have anything for the good of the cause?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We're adjourned. When I said